Hello everybody, this is Becky at Aunt Beck's Creation, and this is part one of my hashtag Love Summer Art. Okay, my thoughts are an exploding canvas. Okay, I'm not sure exactly where it's going to lead, but that's what we're going to work on. I've got one of these back stapled slant canvases that you get at Michael's. See, it's bigger at the bottom than it is at the top, and you can make, like, you know, a display that goes across the table or whatever. But what I'm going to do is I also have just a board here, okay, and it's an artist loft as well. My thought is have it like this, put this on the back, and have it exploding out the front. So let's get started. Oh, and I also have this sheet that I'm going to adhere on the inside with Mod Podge, you know, so that the sand will show. And I picked this up for 10 cents at Joann's, but I think I'm going to have to trim it some. Let's take this off. Should have brought a trash can in here, which I did not. That's okay. We'll make it work. We're just going to ignore all these because we're not going to do anything that's on here. The floor looks like a good place for that. I'll get the plastic off from this, maybe. Boy, this is as bad as the scrapbook paper when it first comes in. Oh, there we go. All right. We're going to set the board aside for a little bit and focus on getting the paper inside here. I might go ahead, I don't know how this is going to work for it, but we'll see. I might go ahead and paint this here with some gesso. Let's do that before we apply the paper, okay? I'll grab some gesso. That's probably way more than I need. It's all right. I'm not real worried about, you know, getting paint on the back of it because I'm going to be covering it with the paper. Get this on here real quick. I think this is a marvelous way for us to share our abilities and ideas. And I'm thrilled with Cinnamon coming up with the idea along with her collaborators that's got it going. And the rest of us that jumped on board because we thought it's a fantastic idea. I want to welcome everybody that has recently subscribed to my channel. You'll find on my channel I do a little of everything. And we also do videos of our walks, of our thoughts. So it's not just my crafts and stuff. Sometimes I cook on here. My apple pie won second place at the South Carolina State Fair one year. So I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I can make some pie. And I'm originally from upstate New York, but my accent's gotten thicker and thicker the longer I've lived down here. And my mother-in-law says I've lived down here long enough now that I'm no longer considered a Yankee. Just saying. Alright, I am not going to worry about this being a complete and total cover. I just want to cover the wood enough that if I miss a spot, it'll just look white. I don't know if that made a lick of sense, but that's what I meant. And of course I didn't bring a cup of water over here, so I'll just put this down here for right now. And actually I won't. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to get this in here, and we're going to trim it right there. And I have my trimmer off to the side here, and I'm hoping I'm eyeballing this okay. I guess we'll soon find out. Let's see how I did. Need to take just a tiny little bit off. Okay, that's perfect. Well, let's see here. Right about there. All right. That fit down in there now. Oh, I cut it too short. It'll be all right. I'll center it and we'll go from there. I probably have another sheet of this, but I don't want to run get it. So we're going to go with what we got. The only Mod Podge I have out here is the antiquing one, so we're just going to use that because that's what's here. I kind of like this antiquing Mod Podge. It gives you a vintage look right away. It has a very funky smell, but it's not too different than regular Mod Podge, but there is something in it that is just a little off to me. And I'm just going to put this down in here. I'm being rather thick and aggressive with it. It's just how I am. I've been told I can be intense. Only when I'm driven to get something done. The gesso is wet, so I've picked some of that up on this paper. Not worrying about it. Not worrying about it at all. Slide that down in there. Kind of get it centered. And we'll go over the whole thing. Get it sealed between two layers of Mod Podge. And if I go quiet every once in a while, that's just me thinking about the next step. I do that when I'm even at crafting events with my local crafting group. I just go quiet and everybody says, "Oh, look what she's done. Just sitting over there being so quiet. And she's created something huge." I guess that goes, a crafter's like a 2-year-old. When we go quiet, that's when you gotta watch out. Alright, I'm going to set this part aside and let that paper dry. I'm not really worried about it wrinkling a lot because we are going to be cutting this up and open in a little bit. Probably in the next video. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to go rinse this brush really quick and grab the Mod the gesso brush back. Some gesso on this board now, and I'm not real concerned if it goes all the way to the edge, because remember, we're going to have like that much of it all the way around that is going to be glued to the back of the other one. I've probably got enough here for both this board and the canvas. It won't hurt it to be there. Wonder what luck I'd have. I gotta keep in mind I've got the Mod Podge on the back of this. Hopefully it won't bother it. You know, putting moisture on this side, I don't know. I've never done one of these before, but I bought this to make one, and I thought, you know, this would be the perfect time to try it out. Sounds like I'm playing a drum. Boom, 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 boom. Probably off the shot again. Sorry about that, guys. Oops. Flicking paint everywhere. Speed crafter. My last video was so long. I'm really sorry about that. I'm going to try not to do that again. I think I'm going to just break them down into just small videos and say like part 1, part 2. So if you don't want to, you don't have time to sit and watch for a whole hour, you can catch it in steps. Because I don't always have time to watch a full hour long, and then I find myself, you know, fast forwarding through, and I'm afraid I'm missing stuff. Okay. Now, where can I set this that's in my hand that it can sit and dry here? Oh, my hand's in the paint. Alright, if that sticks to that paper a little, it'll be alright. Because it's going to be glued. I need a little bit more gesso. Not a lot, just a little. Trying to squeeze it on the brush. I can't squeeze. I don't know what is wrong with my thumbs. I can't squeeze anymore. It hurts too badly. Alright, I just want to cover that last little bit on the, I can't remember what they call this, a plank or whatever board. Alright. And I'm not going to worry about waiting for this to dry or rinsing my brush or anything. I'm just going to the next color. I just want to create in the background, just like you're looking out to sea, or you know, just a mixed media type background. No real definitive scene was what I'm trying to say. The scene will come later. So this is some Martha Stewart paint, the multi-surface satin in the color Surf. Okay, and this is some Americana paint in Indian turquoise. can hear my air conditioner running. It's in the evening and it's still 90 degrees. We're just throwing down color. I don't even know. I think that was it's almost giving me a satin look to it. That's that enamel paint, and I don't really want any enamels. This is Pool Blue by Craftsmart. Just add a couple drops of it too. Well, that's probably enough. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Scott's watching YouTube videos on woodworking. So in a way, he's a crafter too, because he can fix just about anything. Alright, so let's think about the sky being, well, it's summer, right? So we got to have a sun. Do we want to act like we're like 5 and put it in the corner? I don't know. This is Americana Lemon Yellow. I guess we could act like there's a sun up here, just to give some yellow into the sky. And I've still got some of that blue from the water in there. And I'm thinking sunset. So let's use, this is Americana Baby Pink. And sunsets also have a little, some type of orange. This is a folk art paint in Punch Passion. Sounds a little, some of this is just my old paint. I like to use, you know, just whatever paint for backgrounds, because you're going to end up covering up most of it anyway when you're ooh, I like how that's got some blue mixed into it. Get a little yellow down here. Put a little yellow like it's playing in the water. Okay. Getting a little mushy here. This will be a really funky sunset. Maybe it's Northern Lights. We're gonna need some blue of some sort, something light. This is Martha Stewart in Summer Haze. Probably got way too much. It'll be all right. I mainly just want to get some backgrounds down on this, you know, first video, and then when I get off from work in the morning, I'll come home and we'll cut into it and add some more to what we have when we end tonight. I'm hoping to do this like in 3 parts, so that each day I can release another part of it over the weekend. I know a lot of people are doing that. Let's make it a happy sailor's sky and have a red sky at night. What do you think? Works out good for me. Maybe losing our blues. Of course, as I put the blue down, you'll find out it turns purple with that reddish color. Alright. I'm going to stop on the sky and the water. Let's build up some sand across this front right here, okay? Let's see. What do I have that's kind of sandy? Not a real lot. Let's see. What is this one called? Golden brown. That's probably going to be way too brown. Let's squeeze some out right here. Yeah, way too brown. Let's see here. What is this one? Separated really bad. We will leave that one alone. How about this one? This is a flesh. But what we can do is we'll mix it with the other brown that I'd already put out. Remember, this is just going to be a background in the distance because we're going to have all kinds of stuff going on the canvas. This is mainly just to give me a background on the page, or not page, but you know what I'm saying. Might take some of that dark and just flip it in here and there. Okay, now some fun. I'm going to have to grab a different kind of brush. Okay, and we'll just glop some white on here. And I got this fat round brush. I don't know the names of brushes. Oh no, this is one of those from Tuesday morning that was cheaper than it had to be. Put it that way. Uh-oh, picked up some brown in there. There's a few white caps over here. Hello all you happy crafting and art making peoples. Something happened yesterday. The camera died. So here it is. I've been to work since I got up at 1. I've been at work since 3 a.m. I'm now home. It's probably about 10 and I'm still wide open. So let's get going before I start getting not so wide open and falling asleep. I was going to show you, this is the board and how we're going to leave it. I think it turned out really pretty. And, you know, we'll lose a lot of this when we apply the slanted board to it, but it'll give us enough of a background to be interesting. So we're going to just set that aside. This has, I got a little white paint there, and I'm not worrying about it. I am going to quickly just take some tan paint and maybe cover down here just in case it shows. So let's do that first. And it doesn't even have to be, this is just a golden brown. I'm going to just put a little golden brown just on the back of the canvas. And I might even paint the inside. What do you think? I think we should paint that inside. I'm going to put this paint here. And I'm going to stand up because if I sit down, I will fall asleep on y'all. Oh, you know what? Not this paintbrush. This is the Mod Podge paintbrush. That won't work. How about a nice big one so we can cover a lot of area quick? Been trying to think of what sort of thing I would like to have, you know, coming out of the canvas. Been thinking about it. It's too bad I can't think of a way to make a shark with all the shark attacks going on in South Carolina and North Carolina. I feel bad for all those folks experiencing the scare, the fear, the loss of, you know, time and that carefreeness you get when you go to the beach and you think, oh, I'll just go out, it'll be fine, I'll never see a shark, and then you do. Didn't squeeze out quite enough. I'm actually going to just put that face down because all that paint from last night has dried up. This has been a lot of fun, just the in-between times of working on it, the thought time. Does that make sense? The thought time? New word. Just the time when you're just not working on the project and you're away from it. How many people just, you continue to think about it and your ideas change? I think everybody that's any type of artist has a plan in mind and it kind of morphs itself as you're working on it. At least it does for me. Does that work for everybody else too? As far as, you know, it turning out to being a little bit away from what you thought it would be in the beginning? All right. There we go. See, now if I get a little too far with my cuts or whatever, there'll be a painted surface that'll, or semi-painted. You know, a lot of this is just, it's just layering. That's what mixed media is all about, right? It's just layering. So I'm not going to worry about the edges until after we've glued the two together, because then I can do all of the edges on this and the board. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, now the front of this, you know, when you do your cuts, not all of it's going to show, okay? I'm still going to cover everything, and the outside of this is going to be kind of a mirror of the inside. And I say kind of because I'm looking for kind of a, how to put it, I don't know. I can't think of the word. Like I said, I've been at work a while, and words escape me at the moment. I just want to get some colors. They can be the same colors I used on the inside. They can be blended together. I actually really like how that looks. Let's go ahead and put some more of this tanny brown. It was very interesting at work today. One of the young ladies, she asked me, Becky, how do you keep this momentum up for this long? I just thought that was funny. Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to get this all done in a certain amount of time, and you have to move fast to get it all done. There's guidelines set for a reason. There's an expectation, and we're supposed to meet it. So I just go with what's expected of me. I'm so glad to see some of the people that I've been sub to and that are sub to me joining in on this. I see Evie's on board. Hi, Evie. I'm glad you had fun on your vacation to the mainland and that you made it home safe. I bet your children are enjoying having you home. And I know Anne from Annie HX. I always mess it up. Sorry, Anne. But she knows who I'm talking about. And Amy Aljon, she's been one of my buds on here. And Laura at Laura Loves Lace, I know that she had spotted it and she said to count her in, but I hadn't seen her video on promoting it or anything. Of course, I've been kind of out of it, so. Oh, Lord, the military's here. My son must have an alarm on. I really wanted to get this all finished last night so I could move on today. And it did not work out. I'm looking for just kind of the colors of summer that I think of is that ocean blues and the whites and the creams and the browns and the different tints of pink and violet. Just the things you see in a summer sunset. A little too much purple, and I'm not even waiting between colors. I just don't have the patience to wait and dry and wait and dry. It's just not me. I want some more blue on there. I really want it to feel beachy. And for some reason I really like this blue. And I don't even mind if it stays a little, you know, got some layers. It'll take it longer to dry, but that's okay. So we're not going to see a lot of this anyway, right? All right. I'm just going to throw some white in now. I think I'm going to put it down here on the paper though, so that I'm not... Kind of looks like bubbles. All right. I had thought about doing like a junk journal of different, you know, just paper that I've painted up. But then I thought maybe that would take a little bit longer than I have planned to do here. So that might be a project for another time for me. Little of this corally cover. I need to go through my paints and clean them up. Oh, I think my son is moving about. He got a job finally, and he's been waiting to hear when training's gonna start. Alright, so I'm going to stop this here. We're going to let this dry, and then when it's dry, I will come back on here and we'll glue the two sections together, and that'll be the end of this part one, okay? Once I get it glued together, I'll start the next, that'll be part two, and I'm hoping I can work on that some tonight. Depends on how fast this dries, okay? But I'll come back and we might do a little brainstorming out loud again, because it helps me, and go from there. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Okay, I decided I would glue them together with E6000, and so I've already done that. It's not completely set because I don't want to jerk around on it, you know, too much. And I might put something like maybe a trim or something to cover where the two frames meet, and because it's kind of got a little space, you know, where this is folded over. It's a little thicker, so we'll do that in the next section. But I do want to add the cutting of it right now, and let's see how I do. This is the first time I've made an explosion canvas, and we're just gonna go see. I don't want to come all the way to the corner because I want to have somewhere to glue the pieces that I'm gonna roll back. So I'm gonna stop about an inch in. And hopefully I'm going through. See, there's the paper. I might do a little something or another to the edges here tomorrow, or in the next section. I won't say tomorrow because I might film it today, but I want to get the first parts loaded off from my phone. And I'm going to have to move where I'm working so I'm closer to a glue gun anyway to glue these back. So that's the plan. And I'm not worried about them being perfectly straight, because when something explodes, you know, it's going to explode in several different directions wherever the weakest points are. So I'm not real concerned, you know, how straight or crooked I am with that edges. That one I cut a little too far. See, I wasn't paying attention. It'll be all right. We'll make it work. It's my motto. Make it work. If at first you don't succeed, try again and make it work. All right. There we go. So I have somewhere to glue these onto the edge. See, you can actually roll them if you want to, and then glue this tip here. That would work too. See, I got that a little far. I'll think of a way to fix that. I tell you what I'm going to do on these edges. I just decided I'm going to do it before I glue it. I'm going to do it before I glue it. That's something new. I've got some Lumiere paints. And I am really fond of using this gold. What's the name of this gold? This is bright gold. And I'm just going to paint my edges with this bright gold. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what will end this portion. Once I get this, some gold put on here. I better put the cover on that X-Acto. I have a horror story of an X-Acto knife, but I won't share it. It had to do with my child when he was younger. And I don't know that game. It wasn't that game where, you know, you pitch a knife between your friend's feet or something. That's what the doctor was telling me about. And I was like, don't give him ideas. He's got a creative enough mind. He doesn't need your help. What I titled This Summer is Golden. Doesn't matter if it's thick. I kind of like that. It adds the texture. The layers are coming apart. I don't care. We're going to be gluing and all kinds of stuff on top of this, so not really worried about whether these are dividing out or not at the point. I'm not going to force them to do. Oops, sorry. This is going to be really cool. I wish I was a really good drawer and could draw like mermaids or something. I do want to cover up where the paper has pulled from one side to the other, just so that you don't see that white paper. You know, the back side of the scrapbook paper. Let's get some down in there. Everybody's making such wonderful what are they called? Oh, now my brain, I'm telling you. I took a nap in between the last little bit that I did and this one, but my brain is just, there's just so much I process and so many people I'm directing on Wednesdays that by the time I get home and everything, I'm lucky my brain's not just absolute mush. So I am really sorry that I'm starting to say things and then the brain checks out. It's just how it goes on Wednesdays for me. Yep. I like this Lumiere paint. It's real thick and you can, you know, just glop it up on the edge of something and it makes it look so cool. And I know that's probably not the use for it, but it's how I use it. And I would encourage everybody to not just go by what a product says it'll do. Try it to see if you can push it farther. I mean, just because the company that made it hasn't tried something with it doesn't mean you can't, you know? And the way, I mean, a lot of us are on a tight budget and are trying to use from their stash and not purchase a lot of stuff, you know, because of unexpected bills or whatever. Push the limits on the products that you already have. The only one that's telling you you can't is you. Don't be afraid to push the envelope. This is kind of giving me the same feel to a little wall hanging I did that I mailed over the big pond. Way over the big pond. Of a mixed media piece with mermaids, and we might do kind of the same, and this could become a gift for a friend that loves mermaids. All right, so I'm peeking in there thinking, oh good, I glued the back on right side up. That would have really stunk with gluing it with E6000. So I'm gonna let you guys go and we will come back and do part 2 with the gluing of this down, the adding of trims, and whatever I can come up with between now and then. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all in the very next video. Bye.